to help pay tribute to this year's recipient of the Winthrop W. Grice Award for Lifetime Achievement. Please welcome last year's honoree, Hospitality and Tourism Management Department faculty member at Virginia Tech, Howard Firetag.
Well, hello, HSMAI. There you go. Okay. It's a great honor to be here back at the Adrian Award program to present the Bud Grice Lifetime Achievement Award. For 45 years, this guy, Richard Kahn, has worked passionately on behalf of the travel and hospitality industry, not only for himself and for his clients, but a way that he managed his staff of folks and assisting colleagues around the country. Richard is a kindred spirit, having started a career as a fellow journalist. I can recall way back when we were really friendly competitors. He was the editor for Travel Agent magazine, and I was the meetings and convention and group editor for Travel Trade Publications, both Travel Agent magazines. And then after 22 years, I guess, as a reporter, an editor, a publisher, and even a weekly radio host, he launched the award-winning boutique PR agency, KTCpr. You know, it's funny, but back then, during the years, as an editor, this guy was quite vocal about the much hated public relations people and public relations stuff. He was, so much that when he launched his own PR firm, dozens of reporters and editors were worried that when he moved to the dark side, and then that would send him notes proclaiming, "Not you too, Richard." However, as president and owner, he leads his talented PR team to always be a resource for reporters and editors when it comes to providing information, and it doesn't necessarily directly benefit his clients. Both his employees and his clients have stood the test of time, some still around 20 years later. Throughout his journalistic career, Richard has earned prestigious awards, such as the Business Writers Association Award for the investigative series that he did on cargo theft at Kennedy Airport. And of course, he has multiple Adrian Awards for his clients. His volunteerism are many. He served as president of the Caribbean Tourism Association 3 terms, and twice as chairman of the Pacific Area Travel Association, 2 terms as president of the New York Travel Writers Association, and 1 as the vice chairman of the Society of American Travel Writers, Northeast Chapter. He was also chairman of the HSMAI for the New York chapter, and he's still very active on committees. And it's for all these accomplishments that HSMA has chosen this year's honoree, and we may pay tribute to this guy, Richard. Let's take a closer look and see about this year's recipient.
Richard Kahn was born and raised in Brooklyn and attended Murray State University, Kentucky. He was both editor of the College News and the rival campus underground newspaper. After all, it was the 1960s and everyone was rebelling. He put himself through school running a coffee house named Nowhere. He promoted the coffee house with the slogan, "What are you doing? Nothing. Where are you going? Nowhere." It was his first successful PR campaign. After graduation, he returned to New York, got a job at Aviation Week magazine, and took nearly every 747 inaugural flight. 5 well-traveled years later, he joined Travel Agent magazine and gained recognition as an editor and ultimately publisher over nearly 16 years at the helm of the magazine. He then left Travel Agent in 1989 and began writing special sections on travel for the New York Times, the New York Star Ledger, and USA Today. In 1990, he launched his public relations firm, hiring and training fresh college grads. His mantra for the staff is, "Be a resource to the reporter, and they will be your friend forever." Over the years, he was a true innovator, creating a media marketplace for the Caribbean that draws more than 100 journalists each year, helping to launch a Caribbean Culinary Federation and creating a celebrity chef program that has resulted in chefs appearing on national television, including The Today Show. In the 1980s, he became involved in the HSMAI Awards program and eventually headed up the judging. He served as president of the Greater New York chapter and also co-chaired the annual HSMAI Summit Conference in 2000. For the next 8 years, he handled HSMAI public relations and expanded awareness of the association. Here's what others had to say.
Hey, it's John Tish from Lowe's Hotels. So sorry I cannot be there in person, but I did want to take an opportunity to congratulate Richard on receiving the Bud Grice Award. Not many people have the career and the width of experience that Richard has. You have made a difference in so many people's lives. You are a true leader, you are a friend, and this award only really says what we all have known for a while. Richard Kahn deserves to be recognized.
Richard, congratulations. If you were not such a good publicist, what you might do, and I convinced myself that you may have missed your calling as the voice of God.
Richard is an encyclopedia of industry information.
He and I have been around the Caribbean longer than most of the hotels that are standing in the Caribbean.
I too have worked with you for such a long time, and you're one of the greatest PR pals that we work with because you never send us PDFs. Everything you send us is real. We don't have to triple check it and vet it through the White House security system.
Hi Richard, Peter Greenberg here, and congratulations on receiving this well-deserved Lifetime Achievement Award. But let's be honest, okay? It's not for one lifetime, it's for two, because I'm one of those people who actually goes back with you to the days when you were actually a real journalist.
The people of the Caribbean and the people in the industry owe you a debt of gratitude for all you have done for us.
Richard is a consummate professional and someone you can rely on, particularly when it comes to all your PR requirements.
Richard, in addition to being a personal friend of mine, is one of the most professional, dedicated public relations dons that I have known.
I think it's fantastic that I lived to see this. I'm 96 years old and it's a pleasure to be here.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the recipient of the Bud Grice Lifetime Achievement Award, Richard Kahn.
I feel very, very rich tonight. Not in the monetary sense, but the richness comes from my family, which are here with me tonight, my friends, and the love that I have felt from surrounding me this evening. I'm truly humbled by this award, not just because it's being presented here at an HSMAI event, which I had worked for over a decade, but because it was voted on by my peers, the advertising and public relations executives that have won this award prior to me, for whom I have profound respect. I thank you for that great acknowledgement. I am truly blessed. Loving what you do for a living is crucial to having a happy life. It's never been a job for me. I've had 2 successful careers, as they said, 22 years as a travel writer and 23 years in public relations, 45 years and still counting. Receiving this honor tonight is truly one of the great moments of my life. but I recognize that this reward is only a symbol. While I once thought that my goal was to reach rewards and acknowledgement, it was the actual journey getting here that made this all worthwhile. You see, I didn't just do my job, I got involved in the industry. I volunteered to work with the professional associations, the alphabet soup of the travel industry, CTO, CHTA, PATA, ASTA, SCTW, and of course, HSMAI. Volunteering, I've noticed, is quickly becoming a lost art. I fear that a lot of the younger people don't fully appreciate the networking, the friendships, and the knowledge that is gained. Yes, it's difficult to volunteer. It's a lot of work. It's not just sitting on a board of directors. But I can tell you that my life as a reporter and as well as a public relations executive was strengthened by all the time that I spent volunteering and working in the associations. I know that I have not changed the world, but if I've had some small impact, if I've been able to set an example of why someone should volunteer, if I have helped others, then I've been successful. I'm very proud of my son, Josh, who works at the agency and has begun to take a more management role because he too has gotten involved as a volunteer. And after a decade of hard work, just recently he was named chairman of PATA New York. There are a number of people that I would like to thank. First of all, my loyal clients, some with KTCpr for over 20 years. And I would also like to thank my dedicated staff, two of whom, Lee Mary and Teresa, have been with me for 17 and 18 years respectively, and all my staff who make me look good. I would like to acknowledge my immediate family, beginning with the youngest and the oldest. Our first grandchild, as you saw on the screen, Elora, who at 19 months old is at home sleeping, and my mother at 96, who is also at home, thankfully, or she would be here saying, "When are we going home?" I want to thank my children, my son Josh, for all the support. Josh, who works with me now, my son Eric, who is an environmental engineer with the Port Authority, and my son Ryan, who started out in college a journalist like me, but then changed his career path and is now a doctor of physical therapy at Mount Sinai Hospital. Wise move, Ryan. And finally, there are no words to thank my wife, Linda, who has kept me grounded, who has protected the world from my temporary insanities, and who has been my soulmate, my companion, and my very best friend. I once dreamed of getting this prestigious award, but now I realize the real rewards were in the long path that I've traveled that got me here. Our true success is in the corridors that line the memories. Our true success is in the memories that line the corridors of our mind. Thank you very much.